I've been doing this was about Charles Hall, who was the meteorologist for Nellis back in the early 60s. And he was out basically in that area in the Nellis test range. And apparently he was given free reign to go anywhere he wanted out there. And I haven't actually read his book, but I watched a huge, long video of him. And it kind of blew me away because all of these details that he was giving happen to be the same locations where I am capturing these things that I told you earlier that I could never see anything in the sky there until I got a night vision monocular. And that's where I started seeing these things. And I cannot find video anywhere on the planet of anything doing anything similar to what these things do. And once you start seeing these videos, there's probably more than 30 of them, you realize, wow, these are exactly where Charles Hall would have said the tall whites were. And, I don't make that claim that these are the tall whites, but I could make a claim that said I have enough video evidence that would agree with his testimony to make a good case for it.
Interesting. I got to ask you a question here. I just got an email from a trucker just asking one simple question. Is there a lot of people going missing in Las Vegas?
Is there a lot of people what?
Are going missing, disappearing.
I've heard of one gentleman who was a UFO hunter that went missing up in those mountains. But not any more than any other place that I know of. If they are missing, then it's not really being publicized, or it's not being publicized to where ordinary people hear about it a lot.
Well, you hear, that there's like between 50 and 60,000 people are vanishing out of this country each year, according to the FBI, that they don't classify a crime situation, that they just vanish. They don't know where they're going to. This has been going on. Yeah, this has been going on for years, not just in our country, all around the world. And that makes me wonder, could they be abducting people? Could this be going on, or abducting people from, is there homes anywhere in those areas or anything like that? Is people living in any population over in where you're getting any of these videos of these craft?
Yeah, there's definitely other locals that are getting photographs and videos. Nobody does it on the same scale as me because I'm one of the people that decided to make this like a hobby that I love, that I put a lot of time and effort into. And then this perfect storm of circumstances, like us buying this house that had a great view. It wasn't buying this house, maybe I can see, UFOs here. That never even crossed my mind, ever. It never would have crossed my mind. But when, it's having, just like in the movie, Close Encounters, Richard Dreyfuss has these encounters that happened to him that set him off on this journey, And although that wasn't exactly what happened to me, that's the same thing with me, is I had these encounters that made me want to know more, and I'm still fascinated with it. And, I'm just taking a different approach. I'm just telling people, here is what it is. You look at it, you decide. At the end of the day, what I'm trying to tell you is it's real and it's incredible. And, I'm sorry if you don't like the way I do it, but, I'm the one that's paying for all of this. I'm the one that's doing it. I'm going to do it the way that I see fit.
Yeah. Another question people are asking is, have you ever seen any military jets or helicopters chasing after these craft at all, or showing up right there?
No, not at all. And if there was something like that, I seriously doubt that they would ever have jets chasing them. if it was me and I was them, and if there was some reason that they had to go after one, I would say do it with helicopters, because Vegas is filled with helicopters. There's helicopters everywhere all the time here, and they just don't create any kind of suspicion whatsoever unless you hear military ones, which I do see all the time around my area. As a matter of fact, since we've been in this home, I've seen the black ones, military, no markings or anything, at least 3 or 4 times in a little over 8.5 years.
Interesting.
Right here by our house. But never a chase. And the way I look at it is, back in I think it was Dwight Eisenhower, that they say that he was the president that was involved in the Greada Treaty with the gray aliens, right? That in order, they would allow them to abduct so many people in exchange for certain technology. I don't know if that's all true, if I believe it or not. But the one thing I do believe that's very possible is that, that maybe for decades now that there's been some sort of agreement with some friendly alien species that might allow us to do things like build, UFOs that look like they are from, some other planet.
That's always a possibility.
That's also another reason why you don't see them chasing them, because they're probably on the payroll.
Yeah, they could be ours. That is a possibility, too. Now, another question people are asking, is there any time of the week or day that you see this? Is there been a pattern of these, when they show up?
Not at all. Not at all. I think about this kind of stuff all the time. And, when I did do this thing with going outside all the time, and I still do it now. I'm not going every night, but what I always did is I would get out there while it was still light enough to be able to see for 30 miles and see, it's dusk. And so you got about a half hour before it's really starting to get dark. And that way you get your bearings and you get set up and you know what's going on. So I would go out and stay. I mean, if I was out there an hour and a half and nothing's happened, I might just fold up and go back in. But typically I would stay out on average about 3 hours, and that would be different times of night because, it gets dark at different times of the night. Every single day that changes. So, you might be out there at 5:30 to begin with one time of the year, and then 8:30 to begin with at the other time of the year, because that's when it starts getting dark. So, that changes. But, in terms of days, it's hard to say. Winter is really hard because if it gets down into the 20s or 30s, it's so uncomfortable that you can't stand to stay out there that long. But they do come around all the time.
Very interesting. Now, how's your neighbors and people around your area, take what you're posting? I told them. I tell them. I mean, I'm not a tinfoil hat kind of guy. I mean, like I say, I'm just like everybody else. I was a veteran. I believed in them, but I never went to a convention or anything. Even now, people say, are you going to go to this convention or that convention? And I've never gone to one except for 2 times in the last 4 years. I was invited to go to Laughlin, Nevada as the guest of Jaime Maussan from Mexico City. He's my friend. He's been here. He's been here at my home shooting video for his Tercer Milenio TV down there in Mexico City. But yeah, I'm not your typical guy to do that. But that's why maybe I do it differently than a lot of people do, and they some of them don't like it. Yeah. A question is, after the next, we got a break coming up. Can you hang on for about 10 minutes after the break? I want to,
Sure.
I want to ask you what, if I wanted to go out and started taking these videos, what equipment do you think I need to buy and the price range roughly? And then I want to find out whether they can find your YouTube channel and how they can find you on Facebook. So we'll do all that. So we're going to take our break a little bit early. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. Check out our website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. We'll be back.
Maggot was a biker and he drove his motorcycle very fast. Drove a big chop Harley with a gang color jacket and ran down citizens for laughs. He had an old lady named Petula who packed an automatic 45 gun. They had just come up from California where they'd shot 6 cops for fun. Jackie thought it was the best there was, as down the interstate he saw, till the day he tangled with the county sheriff who they all called 104. It was late on a Thursday evening, and Jake, he was feeling kinda mean, cause he'd just run out of his favorite drug, the one called amphetamine. So we sauntered up to Petula, and he said, say baby, let's split. There's a little gas station on down the road that might be fun to hit. So they drove up to the station, and they both jumped off of Jake's ride. They were up to derision at Jake's decision as they both saw to the inside. The attendant, he was an old man, and he didn't think it very funny. When Petula pulled out that great big gun, said, honey, give me all your money. Well, the old man opened up the cash drawer, and Jake grabbed the money and ran. With Petula out the door to the big chop Harley that was parked on the center kickstand. Then they headed out for the 4-lane, and they thought it was lots of fun. With Jake on his hog, with Petula the dog, with the automatic 45 gun. Jake, he thought it was the best there was, as down the interstate he saw, till the day he tangled with the county sheriff who they all called 104. Didn't think it very humorous, and he didn't like to get sassed, cause just that morning he had a cup of coffee with a cop named Pendergrast. But the old man had a lot of sense, and he knew just exactly what to do. He dropped a dime in the phone till he got the dial tone, and he talked to operator 42. Operator 42, she was the best, and she gave out the description of Jake the maggot with the gang colors jacket and Petula with the 45 gun. Now it just so happens that Jake, he was headed for 522, where 104 was popped in the shade, thinking, baby, I'm waiting for you. Jake laughed and thought he had it made, but you should have seen the look in his eyes. When outside Monroe on 522, he got one hell of a surprise. Cause up ahead on the roadway, with a shotgun looking down the ball, was Sergeant Nichols with his finger on the trigger in the infamous 104. It was then the chase that had started, but Jake didn't think it very fun when it felt the blast at the spokes of his wheels from 104 shotgun. Chase got into full gear as they went over valley and rise. They were over ditches and barbed wire fences, and Jake kept hitting cow pies.
Do you have a paranormal story you want to share on Night Dreams Talk Radio? You could be a guest. Email us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com, and thank you.
Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark wants to give a big shout out to all the truckers that listen to our show. From our compound, from the West Coast to the East Coast to worldwide, both on the internet and terrestrial radio, you're listening to Gary Anderson.